Okay, well, we are super excited to listen to Tamara Wolfe today, talking about quantum leap strategies for breakthrough performance. And she is a certified life coach, speaker, and teacher, and owner of Full Spectrum Living LLC, living life by design, not by default. For over 30 years, Tamara has been studying and teaching personal development and success principles in the roles of therapist, life coach, mentor, and leader in a top direct selling company. She has been helping professionals and entrepreneurs build their dreams, accelerate their results, and create richer, more fulfilling lives. She holds a MA in dance movement therapy and a certification as a life mastery coach, offering inspiring workshops to groups, organizations, and companies, as well as transformational, in depth coaching programs that help clients achieve new heights of success, meaning, and aliveness. She is an avid student of neuroscience and incorporates some of the latest research into her coaching and training programs. Tamara loves sports, the arts, family, and friend time, traveling, and adventures. So without further ado, take it away, girl. It is all you.
Great, thanks, Melody. And I have a timer here, but it's 30 minutes. So if you, I'm going to shift over to the PowerPoint. If during it I get, you just give me a warning, you can speak it because I may not see you. So feel free to do that. So awesome. I'm going to shift over to the PowerPoint. And I'm just going to encourage everyone, if you might, to just stay on mute during the time, and we'll save questions for the end. And if you want to put them in the chat while it's top of mind, go ahead and do that. And we'll hopefully have some time at the end to share. So I am so excited to share on this topic. It's something that really resonates with me, the whole idea of the quantum leap. And this work that I'm sharing today is coming from an awesome book that I'm trained in this as well, but it's called U Squared by Price Pritchett. Some of you may have heard of him. He's an amazing, he comes from a background in psychology, and his focus is on breakthrough performance. And he's taken it into business. And so he has a consulting company, and he's worked with Fortune 500 companies. And my mentor has been trying to get him to come and speak with us for years. And 2 weeks ago, interesting, I just gave another one of these quantum leaps presentations. And then now he came and we had an hour with him. So it's amazing what he brings to it. And it's really just what I'm hearing from all of you. We're looking at upping our game, shifting the mindset. So where we're going today is, there we go. My intention is that we're going to gain clarity on where your vision is. And I'm going to step into this because this fuels into how you create a quantum leap. You got to know where you're going. So we're going to unpack that. I'm going to talk about 7 of the 15 quantum leap strategies that there are to help support that, to accelerate results. We're looking at results, and then gain confidence in moving forward with tools to overcome obstacles. The key is we want to have our path clear so we can move forward and step into those breakthroughs. So I'm going to leave you with a tool that you can use to support that. As we get ready, I do what I call my teeing up. So I have 3 T's that I want you to lean into as we get started. I respect your time, and I want you to respect your time. So you can use these T's at any event that you go to. The first T is to tune in. You're tuning in, meaning you're setting an intention in this moment that I'm going to glean at least one golden nugget. It might be from what someone else says, it might be from this, but you're going to intend for that. So your mindset is ready. Okay. The second one is to turn up the volume. Turn up the volume. You may hear something you've heard before, and the brain's tendency, because it tries to conserve energy, is to lean back and go, I've got this already. I'm going to say, lean in. Okay. You're coming in as a new person every time you're hearing things. So you want to listen in. And then the last T is what I call transformational willingness, that you're willing to be open to, there might be an aha that could make a big difference for you. So step in and be in that mode. And so with that, I'm going to start with a true story, and it was written in this book by Price Pritchett. So I want you to listen in, and I want you to put yourself in the story and see what you might glean from it. So I'm sitting in a quiet room at the Millcroft Inn, a peaceful little place hidden back among the pine trees an hour out of Toronto. It's just past noon, late July, and I'm listening to the desperate sounds of a life or death struggle going on a few feet away. There's a small fly burning out the last of its short life's energy in a futile attempt to fly through the glass of the window pane. The winding wings tell the poignant story of the fly's strategy: try harder, but it's not working. The frenzied effort offers no hope for survival. Ironically, the struggle is part of the trap. It's impossible for the fly to try hard enough to succeed at breaking through the glass. Nevertheless, this little insect has staked its life on reaching its goal through raw effort and determination. The fly is doomed. It will die there on the windowsill. Across the room, 10 steps away, the door is open. 10 seconds of flying time, and this small creature could reach the outside world it seeks. With only a fraction of the effort now being wasted, it could be free of this self imposed trap. The breakthrough possibility is there. It would be so easy. Why doesn't the fly try another approach, something dramatically different? How did it get so locked in on the idea that this particular route and determined effort offer the most promise for success? What logic is there in continuing until death to see a breakthrough with more of the same? No doubt this approach makes sense to the fly. Regrettably, it's an idea that will kill. Trying harder isn't necessarily the solution to achieving more. It may not offer any real promise for getting what you want out of life. Sometimes, in fact, it's part of the problem. If you stake your hopes for a breakthrough on trying harder than ever, you may kill your chances for success. Can anybody relate to that, right? We get in these routines of, you know what, this system worked before, and I'm just going to keep trying harder, and I put more time in, and that's going to help boost me to the next level. And we know that, and you probably have from experience, what that can do is actually set up a trap for you. So you stay stuck in that, and you can actually reach burnout. So I want to talk and kind of define for you, because there was a lot embedded in that story, and we're going to unpack that. I want to talk to you about what is a quantum leap. And I said in the advertisement, there's kind of this like oxymoron thing. We see quantum leap and we think, woo, this big jump that it takes. And actually, when quantum physics physicists studied particles, what they saw is that these particles were making these jumps several levels up, not going incrementally, but jumping to the next level. But the key was that without much effort, that it was easy, but they were not following the traditional step by step. So when we're thinking about a quantum leap, it can be in a small way, but what the leap is and what the result is the breakthrough. Would anybody be excited about having a breakthrough and have it be easy and be quick and feel really good? Would that be exciting for you, right? So the definition is going from U to U squared, right? Doubling yourself. It means accomplishing far more in less time with only a fraction of the effort you've been giving. Now, the other piece of it is it's taking a risk and going off into uncharted territory with no guide to follow. This is where much of what I'm going to be talking about today is really about mindset and being open to the fact that things don't have to be moving along incrementally. You can do things, take the risk, and we'll be finding out the course actually unfolds as you get into action. So the first strategy I want to focus in on is change your personal rules of success. If you look at your success currently, it's a reflection of how you look at success. Success you have right now is an exact match to your personal rules for success. And so if you want to accelerate the rate of achievement rapidly, you must search out and try new behaviors, new attitudes. So just in this moment, I want you to begin thinking about and start tuning your brain to, in any of the things that I'm doing in my life, and it can be your everyday kinds of things, I'm going to begin paying attention to what might be a different way that I could do this quicker. What might be a different angle that I could take from this? So just beginning to prime your brain in that arena. And Albert Einstein was really good in this whole arena about how to uplift our mindset to go to the next level. He's throughout my coaching, we study so much about him, and it's amazing what he's brought to our world, and at a different level than what I ever thought. I thought he was more of a scientist, but he's really good about life steps. So he talks about the fact that significant problems that we're facing cannot be solved at the same level that created the problem. Why would we ask those small level questions? I'll give an example. So you might say, how can I pay my bills this month and have a little extra? So that's kind of low level. You're just looking at just paying the bills. We're not here to just pay bills. We want an abundance. So the higher level question that when you get the answer will take you to a higher level would be something like, how could I earn an extra $5,000 this month while taking a long weekend vacation, and with that. So it's what I call the yes and. So when you ask that question, it's at a higher level, and when you get the answer, it's going to feel really good. I heard people talking about, let's have fun while we're making money and going above and beyond. So he actually said, if you have a problem and you only have an hour to solve it, really listen into this. Spend 55 minutes formulating the question, because at a higher level, because when you get the answer, it's going to come really quickly. So we're going to talk more about the thinking piece in a moment. So the other piece that was brought out in the fly story, quantum leaps cannot be achieved at incremental steps, more of the same. You've got to switch gears. You got to think about different ways of working and not trying harder. When I'm talking about in my coaching, if you're ever feeling like you're pushing or you're forcing something, or, I don't know if any of you get caught like I do. Okay, I have so much to do today, and we get into this hurried kind of thing. What's happening is it's kind of constricting us, and it's limiting our ability to be creative and be relaxed and let solutions come. It's not a good energy to be in. So we want to stop trying harder. And that's a mind shift for many of us, because we're not used to that. The third strategy is thinking beyond common sense. I love, if you jump down to the bottom here, let's think in uncommon sense. Again, shifting that focus. So many of us, or so many people, are flying really close to the ground. They're not giving themselves permission to soar. In another business that I had, I would ask people what their dreams are. And I'd have people honestly say, I don't even know. I've never even thought about that. I never was given permission for that. So most people are living what I call in the land of condition-based thinking, that I can only do so much as what my education is reflecting. So not you. I know this group is not those people, but what we're doing with the quantum leap kind of thought process is we're leaning into possibility thinking rather than focusing on the limits and obstacles. We're looking at, what if it were possible? What could I do? So this is where the quantum leap means moving out of our mental boundaries. You got to rethink your thinking so you can multiply your performance. So again, we're shifting our believability. Get ruthless about trying something different. Successful people, this is one of those lines that you might have heard before, but truly, successful people are willing to be uncomfortable in the service of growth. How many folks start out the new year, they have goals, or even in your business, and you get going along and you hit that place where you're hitting new territory, and all of a sudden the fear's coming up and things are feeling really uncomfortable because you haven't ever been there before. And without understanding what that is, we call it the terror barrier. You might contract back to your old behaviors, like, oh, this must mean that this isn't right. So I'm going to flip it. That means good news. You're pushing the terror barrier, and beyond that is where your breakthrough performance will be. So you want to step into that uncommon sense. And this key line at the bottom here, I'm going to unfold this in a moment. Go after what you want as opposed to what you can have. Most people are looking at what can I have according to my bank account? What can I have according to my education? As opposed to what would I really love? What would I really like? And I love what I was hearing earlier. You were stepping into that. What would I really love? Because that's the key piece we'll unpack in a moment that's going to help you with your quantum leap. You got to fuel it with passion. So, just a quick lesson on what I call the results formula and where we're going with our thinking. So, you understand how your thinking is, so you can shift your thinking to that quantum leap thinking. So, the first thing is most of us know this, but we don't pay attention. Everything starts with your thinking. If you think about what you're wearing, you look around your room, everything started in the imagination. The designer of the clothes started there, and then it came into physical form. Now, with neuroscience, what we know is when you have a thought, it's creating, we're made of energy. So we're creating a vibration in our body, which is being picked up by the nervous system. So if that then creates a feeling. So if you wake up and you're really energetic, it's a great day, you're energizing, and you're going to feel energized and feel really good, and vice versa. So if you ask someone how they're feeling, if they were really speaking it, they'd say, well, my vibration is very low today, because that's really what's happening. That's what you're feeling. So our thoughts create feelings, which then impact our actions, which then give us our results. Now, most people don't want to look at that. They think their results are created by the causes. Most people feel like they're being pushed around by their circumstances. My car broke down, so I couldn't do this, or I don't have the education. And actually, we're saying more, not just the causes, we're getting into the because, I can't do this because. So coming back to, if we're looking at, I want you to take a look in your mind's eye of the 4 areas of your life in relationship, time and money freedom, health and wellness, and your vocation. Look at your current results and just realize your results never lie. They're just a reflection of what you've been thinking up until now. So this is the really good news. And this may be a new concept, but I'm going to say, tune in, turn up the volume. If I want different results, I gotta change my thinking. And I'm going to give you little tips there about how you do it. So that's the good news. So the quality of your thinking, the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thinking. And if you really want to make change in your results, it starts with your thinking. So we're talking about quantum leap thinking. So let's go further with that. So the key is, and Napoleon Hill speaks about this in Think and Grow Rich, successful people start with the end in mind. It's got to be crystal clear. You got to know where you're going. You don't have to know the how. This is a whole different kind of concept. Again, most people are like, oh, I don't want to make that decision because I don't know how to get there. Quantum leap thinking is, I just need to know where I'm going. And I need to create a crystal clear picture. Your brain only can help you if you're creating that clear visual. I talk about, you want to have lots of emotion with it. You got to have passion with it. You want to have snapshot images so that the brain can then go to work to support you in making things move forward. Whoops. Let me go back there. So the minute you get clear, solutions begin to appear. Answers start coming because you have a part of your brain called the reticular activating system that's like, oh, this is what Debbie wants. So I'm gonna be, she's feeding me that, she's fueling it with passion. And so it's gonna look for those things that are gonna support her vision and her dream. So quantum leap means moving into uncharted territory with no guide. You're stepping out there. You don't need to know the how, and you're drawing the map as you go. I like to say, thinking about a car driving down the road at night, you go to the edge of the light that you see, and then more will be revealed. That's what we do. This is the key to moving ahead. So don't get hung up in the hows, but do get hung up on your aiming point. And then this is a real clear thing you need to do. You need to decide. Most people, or many people, don't really decide for their vision. They're like, ooh, this feels really good, but oh, I don't know. The timing's not really good. My daughter's going off to college and I don't know. So they're having one foot in, one foot out. That's fuzzy. You're going to get fuzzy results. You're not going to move into the quantum spectrum if you're kind of fuzzy with it. So you might want to write this one down. Clarity is power. Clarity is power. You got to fuel the brain with that. Now, I'm going to have you, we're going to do just a quick little exercise so you can begin wrapping your mind around where you are currently right now. So if you look at these 4 areas of your life, I want you to just think about the one that maybe you would love more in. Now, we're going to ask a different question than most of us ask. Most of us ask, what can I do in this area? I'm going to have you say, what would I love? And that's where we began today. What would you love in your area of vocation? I know a lot of people went in that direction. What would you love? And in the next, I'm going to have you in the next minute, just writing down, getting more specific. You began the process, but just write down, if we're coming back together 3 years out. When I say 3 years out, it's another brain trick. Your brain relaxes and it's like, oh, I can do that. It lets you focus more on the what, not the how. So thinking 3 years out, it all worked out. What would you love in that particular area? So I'm going to just give you a minute to go ahead and just jot things down and have snapshot images of what that looks like. What would you love in health or relationship or vocation? Time and money freedom. Where do you want to go on vacation? What would I love is the key question. What would I love? $15 more seconds. Just let it. What would you love? And now I'm going to say to be continued. This is just a beginning piece, and I'm going to encourage you to go back to that, staying in that question. I encourage my clients to just walk around and say, what would I love? What would I love right now? Like, what would I love when I get off this call? I love iced coffee. I'm going to have some iced coffee, the cold brew type, and step into that opens up the mind a little bit more. So going back to the quantum leap, this is the key piece. Quantum leap vision. You got to have passion. That's the most important part of this whole process. It energizes your heart and your mind. There's more research saying the heart and mind are really working strongly together to move to the quantum leap, to that higher plane. So passion, this is a hint as well. It's the passion that's going to help you get through the uncertainty, the doubt, and the failure, right? That's the key piece. If you don't have the passion, you're not going to do it. So just quickly, I'm just going to share a quick story of kind of a quantum leap that I experienced when I was in another business. I was a leader in direct selling, and I had a goal that I was working on for my team, this designation that was pretty high up, and there was only one chance to do that. And I scheduled the deadline of that on the day of my son's birthday. We were going to the water mine to have his birthday. That morning, we had to reach a number of 50 team members, and we were down. We needed 6 more. My son came bouncing down the stairs saying, "Mom, it's my birthday and your fabulous 50s day." And I was almost heartbroken, like, oh my gosh, I can't, how can I tell my little guy who I've been telling, this is my goal, that we're not there? And so in that moment, it fueled my passion again. It was for him, it was for my team. And I'm in the room where I literally got down on my knees and I went into what I call the quantum leap mind. I can kind of think of it now, and said, okay, I've got like 6 hours to pull this together. What can I do? And what happened was, again, the passion was fueling, things started downloading. We're going to talk about mental faculties that help. So intuition was starting to kick in, all sorts of ideas that wouldn't have come had I not really had that energy to do it. I won't go into all those details, but by 3 o'clock, that afternoon, we were at the water mine. Everything had come through. And I'll never forget, my son was overjoyed. I was too. My husband came and he goes, I'm sorry, I'm sure you didn't make it. Wait a minute. Yes, we did. It was one of those things for him, like, what? How did that happen? So that was just a small, kind of sense of I tried new behaviors. I reached out. I had my whole team working at different levels, trying different things. So think for yourself. And some of you shared already some of the quantum leaps you've had. So with that, another strategy is to rely on, as I just was mentioning, unseen forces. Most of us, because we don't know better, are living in the land of facts. We're geared and move according to our five senses in the world. And that's okay. I mean, that is the facts. But we have these mental faculties. This is the part of the brain that when we can learn how to use them, this is where quantum leaps really can happen. Imagination, Einstein said, that's more important than intellect. Imagination is where we get the creative ideas. That's how you formulate that vision. And intuition is, in some people's minds, they say it's the answer to our prayer. It's that calm inner voice of wisdom that's speaking to you at all times when you're willing to listen. And when we get more fine-tuned to listen to that little voice, and take the action, even when you may not understand what it's saying, this is where things move along. So quantum leaps are connected in with our mental faculties. They're merely the process of using yourself and your world differently, thus allowing more of those possibilities to materialize, right? But the key, I want you to look at willingness. Your willingness to make a quantum leap is key. This is deciding that this is possible and I'm going to go for it. If you don't have the willingness, the quantum leap ability is not going to be there. So focus on your vision. You got to fuel the passion and the vision constantly, move towards it confidently, and these unseen forces will begin to happen. You got to be in action. You got to decide for it. You must decide. And with that, I love Emerson. The universe is going to conspire and come with you in this process. It's the decisions you're willing to make that shape your life. So you got to make those decisions. So here we go. This is the reality too. Boom, you made the decision. I'm doing this. Boom, what happens immediately? It's a brain thing. You're hitting uncharted territory. What if I fail, especially as adults? What if I fail? And all the voices. How many people have voices in your head? They're like, what the heck are you doing? With me, stepping into what I did, I love Kim. I was 55, stepping into my third career. What am I doing? I'm traveling. I'm making the decision in the spot, in the moment, right? All those things are going through my head. If I had let those voices pull me back, I would not be in the where I am now, where I love, and I would have given into those voices. So we got to learn how to work with fear and work with failure. And actually, this is one of the strategies. Quantum leaps demand a willingness to make mistakes. Successful people make mistakes more quickly. It's giving information. So it's through some of the struggles that we get strength. That's what we're doing in COVID. We're building our strengths, if we can look at it that way. The caterpillar has to struggle to become the butterfly. Failure is a resource. It helps us find the edge of our capacity. And just quickly, Napoleon Hill said, within all these adversities and failures, there's a seed of greatness. And I love, one of my mentors talks about the bigger your failure, when you make it around to the other side, that's where your biggest success is going to happen. Isn't that encouraging? Like, oh, okay, bring it on. Give me a big failure because I know I have the ability to get around it, right? But we don't want to get hung up here. So we want to talk about how do we work with those voices and those fears that come. Pause, recognize, okay, I see you. I'm going to take a pause here and I'm going to take a breath. The breathing, and I'm going to tell you what type of breathing in a moment, but the breath is recalibrating your nervous system. Remember that nervous system is getting, hit with the vibration of fear. And we want to calm that down so we can think more clearly. So this is from an energy medicine mentor of mine, where you just breathe in through the nose. It's safety breathing. Breathe in for 4. And exhale like you're blowing out through a straw. Do it one more time as I continue to talk. So do it again. When you do that, the voices get lower. You're able to think better. And then you can just say to the fear, I see you and thank you for trying to protect me, but I'm good. I'm going to set you aside. And this is where I'm going. I'm going to have a breakthrough month. I'm going 5 figures here. And then you take the action step. I'm going to get on the phone and, find a new client, or, take an action step that's in the direction. Okay. So the key is you got to get into action. You make the decision and take an action step. So we're beginning to, bring this in for a landing in a moment, but I want you to go back to what you were writing down earlier and what you've claimed. And I want you to think of one thing you can do, and you're going to anchor it on your calendar that's in support of that quantum leap or that area that you'd like to improve. Just take a moment and jot that down. And then the key is later on, be sure you get it on your calendar so you can follow through. Okay. And you can continue with that. So the key is acting now. Wallace Wattles, wrote The Science of Getting Rich. By thought, here we are with our thinking, our quantum leap thinking. By thought, the thing you want is brought to you when you're energized and you've got the passion. You got to be, and actions fueling it. And you got to receive the things when they come, and you got to act now. Don't miss an opportunity that's coming through. Take, even if you don't understand what it is, take that, because the greatest danger is delay. You want a quantum leap, you've got the urge and what it takes, but what we all do have a side of us that's a scaredy cat, and we're going to override that. How long have you been camping out in the big idea? How long have you been polishing your dream? Don't let it die inside. I've literally said to myself, I feel like I'm dying inside when I'm not living my full gifts and talents. So don't let that pass you by. What can you do right now? And as you take those steps, you'll learn what the next steps is. And so the final one, as we bring it in, trust in the power of pursuit and make your move before you're ready. So important. Dreams begin to crystallize in reality when you begin to pursue them. The dreams actually move towards you. And as you're, getting into action, my mentor says, inspiration without action is entertainment. I don't know about you. I'm not here to just have entertainment, right? I want breakthrough performance. So you can think positively all day, but it's positive action that counts. So you want to position to escape to a higher plane of performance. So don't wait until you're perfect. That's another thing that can hold us up. Mobility is important, and acting in the now. So I'm going to give you one quick little ritual here, and then we'll bring it in. Some of you are already doing some of these kinds of things, so it's awesome. But in order to really fuel that passion and keep that fresh and keep it in the forefront, so you're, on this, idea of quantum leap, you want to take a moment in the morning, take some time in the morning, get still and relaxed. And I'm going to say not just in the morning. I go to my thinking chair periodically throughout the day to kind of tune in, to stay on target. Take a deep breath, read or say your goal out loud. You might have a photo of a snapshot image that really brings that vision into clarity. And I know John Assaraf does that. He'll actually trace the edges of that image. Again, you're embedding it in your mind that this is important. And then you're picturing it for 10 minutes. I call it 5 sensorizing your dream. It's like going on the movie set and you see yourself walking. This is a great one, walking into the bank with that $1 million deposit. What are you wearing? What does the bank teller, how does they look at you when you hand them the check? Play that out in your mind. It becomes more real as you do that. And then listen to ideas that might come of steps you can take. Tune into your intuition. All right. So are you ready for that leap? Right? Everything else that you need, it's already inside of you. The opportunity, the timing to perform is all there. It's just you making that decision to take that quantum leap. So don't wait. Take a quantum leap. And I love that you guys were sharing like the small ones. The small ones lead to the big ones. get that website done. Take the leap to call this person that you've been meaning to for a while. So as we bring it in, you got to have clarity of where you're going. And as we head into the second quarter, it isn't that we just write the vision at the beginning of the year. You want to fine tune it. These are the quantum leap strategies we covered today. Change your personal rules for success. Quit trying harder. Think beyond common sense. Focus on the end. Don't worry about the hows. Just get going. Everything will be revealed as you go forward, and you're going to trust that your intuition is speaking to you. You got to listen to it. Let it speak to you. Understand failure is part of the process. So is fear, and trust the pursuit, and move before you're ready. And you also learned a tool or two for overcoming the obstacles. So I know I just shared a lot with you. This really gets me excited about learning these tools, and it's really about